call to order the meeting of uh, minutes. Is there anybody in the room? Visual attention is seated at 34. President speaking, public participation is desired and encouraged. Stay on topic and maintain control. Anybody in the room? No. Anybody online that wishes to speak? Being none. Next is new business. Review of the 27 May public forum and discussion next steps. Okay. Oh, that didn't really come. I guess that did come.
I think that's coming out of our
From us letter. What? What's you buy in?
2 a.m. was the up there,
It stands for Quisenberry Arcori. Man.
the fire station sketch. Home community.
Oh, you gotta pull it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now we're discussing it, it's not on the agenda. So.
Wait,
It's not,
oh, you're just saying you want to add it to new business. Okay.
and I think that I was correct. The expenditure funds.
So do we need that?
Okay.
Okay. But you say we want to add on expenditures.
Yeah,
The final pitch and associates payment.
because in a previous meeting, it, pulled back, recommended the board of selectmen pull back.
That's true.
So I think it was.
Alright, so the motion's been made to add a discussion of the final payment for pitch and associates. Do I hear a second? Motion's been made and seconded to add an agenda item, final payment for pitch and associates. So, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Carried. Okay, so moved. Well, let's start with letter A, review of the 27 May 2026 public forum and discussion of the next steps. What did everybody? Was it?
I have to go.
Actually, we got it. Sorry.
Yeah. They just didn't want to. Anyway.
It was just townspeople. I'm sorry. But it was good because we got good, people. And I thought Fish earned his money in that one night. Great presentation, answered questions well, on a level, I can understand. And I think we have some really good options in front of us. And good support from the public. Station. Simply because response. He made that. Yeah, we need to start.
Right.
Yeah. Get that good. Happy. That buys us time to really dig into one station. If we wind up on the hill, that property at 426 split, so far. Guys look at it. It's not like, gonna have an empty building there. Locate everything up. Or you can, with one organization station. I'm throwing out stuff.
It seemed to make sense to me. The options. Whatever those, basically one station. And we use the resources that we learned. CERCOG, all that. Give some project estimates. And that way it gives us something to talk about. Apparently, according to, as Mike had said, they have some of these plans themselves. And it's free to them, not free, but it's part of our subscription with the Capital Region Council of Governments. So if we say, here's a single station, and here is what it could look like. And then if we weigh that against, like, what's a single station? Here's what here's two stations. This one. And we weigh that against things that are all ongoing. That we have money to throw at station 30. And like, so those things can all work. Not in conflict. But I fear that trying to marry all of those things together without having some sort of path, separate course of action, one station, two, it would be very difficult. You could say, here's a plan that CERCOG gave us. Have some structure, we have some, not perfect, but it's something.
I only fear there are roads, stations, don't settle. Now, granted, becoming explicitly have charged. No organization where it's charged.
Right, but some of this is going,
How can we establish which facility to act?
one of the things, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think both fire departments charters say that now. 50% of something.
So
The town invests,
spends money.
so if the town builds a building on land owned by each individual LLC, that's what happens. Two stations. Then the town owns the building. And and then they own all the equipment inside. And now, I know, we already own it, that's what I mean. So now you own everything. So that sort of, to me, almost forces some sort of change structurally in how the departments are set. I don't know what those are. I'm not in the department.
Well,
Also,
let me ask you a question. Can a member of Wellington County responding to fire close to the hill, go to the hill firehouse, grab a truck and go? No. Or vice versa? No.
They can if they're trained on it.
I'm sorry,
They can if they're trained on it. If they're not trained on it, no.
do they have access to the building so they?
so for station 13, most of
Well, it doesn't lock, just pull the door.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Most of
if they're not trained, because they're not trained
You need
on
to
it.
I understand that right there. Do. Just saying. Want to make sure we have 100%
Right.
interchangeability of department members.
Mhm.
And the department members should be able to go to any station.
I suppose that
If they're qualified to take out a piece of evidence.
right now, that's not the case.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
I think we know the answer. I think we know the answer.
So, see, we've been doing this for how many years? Tyler, how many years? Fire department, been around two fire departments. And there really hasn't been a demand or a need to make that happen in this district. And
But if we have one fire, what did he say?
if there's one firehouse, it has to be changed, that's.
That's where we're headed.
From a priority perspective, I guess, of the people that spoke at. I think there was few that Station 13 never needed open and restock that capacity. I think that was all.
Right.
I think that's a priority one. So, the other thing, as far as whether it's, merging the departments or building firehouses, I think that's secondary, at least my opinion, what I heard of it. That's secondary to getting that firehouse back home. And there's nothing there, whether it's consolidation, whether it's building a firehouse hill, or building two firehouses, three, four, building none. It's just not a mission critical priority at this moment to solve. That's what I got.
And it's always been that way, since we started this bit. Yeah. Gotta get that. Correct.
And then the other thing that I was a little, not surprised, but Steve did spend more time on than I thought he was going to, is the potential hiring of fire service administrator. Now that person can also be leading that. To guide set these long-term things as well. And I say that because area towns have done that same thing, hiring fire service administrators, whatever term you call it. Their specific charge was, in some cases, to merge the departments, to do a full apparatus review, to make recommendations to the board for a second on what apparatus should be replaced, what should be replaced, what should be retired. building construction would be fire. So that's a, you know, again, Steve went out of his way a few times to mention that I think that was a priority for him that we as a town should consider as well. But that's one.
And Tyler, if I just piggyback on that, I think he was saying, you're right, spoke about it competitively and used the whole nation as an example on how this, we're not the only one in this boat. Everyone's taking small local departments and merging them costs and organization. But he also said that we have a lot of duplicate administrative costs, duplicate overhead costs now. And that could kind of pay for an administrator that would bring the town into this, like the qualifier. Because the town is going to own it all, asset. So that will make sense to me. As big a change as that might be from, right now, our highest administrative officer, the chief, right? Brings us the budgets and that's what we do. But this would be a change. He seemed to think it was a good, especially as towns said we're going more towards paid department. That I didn't like hearing, but that's what he says is happening everywhere.
That could be enough.
I like our volunteer department.
So do we.
He said that, but he seemed to think it's, moving away from that, hence
Maybe.
the administrator.
Unfortunately, it is a part-time job I have. I travel to a lot of firehouses around the state, and everybody's got paid staff. It says volunteer up there, there's paid staff, at least during, working hours, so. And it's just an unfortunate fact.
So, yeah, I think I mentioned that here, there's only 2 or 3 off the top of my head, towns within Ian dispatch area. But do your own, man.
Yeah, okay. But considering that this is, facilities, and as I clear, if indeed that a $13 million grant came in, specifically for Willington Hill, and then another, I don't know if we get money in it to rebuild Station 13. If those 2 things happen, I can't see the townspeople wanting to buy for another new building. So I just don't. That really would make sense. If you got a state grant to do it, you're not going to then say, "Oh well, we're going to not do that. We're going to." That doesn't make sense.
You could look at it the other way. There was free money for some part of the project, but
That could be true. That could be true. But just the way these, I mean, I know it's that, but looking like experience with these bonds and these grants, they're very specific. And you can't budge them. You can't just say, well, we don't really want to do that. We'd like to use the money for something else. Like, oh, well, then you'd have to go through entire approval process. So I'm still thinking that it's, we have courses of action for fish. If we can build out structure around those different courses of action and have numbers and plans, and we can do it through the resources that we already paid. So we're not expending a great deal of money. I don't see a downside. If then if Station 13, yes, that's a priority. Doesn't mean that these other things can't happen simultaneously. It's just a plan. It is a concept. They're coming from 50. What is the downside?
I agree with Ralph, the idea of going forward. Then we could be building something that makes sense. Even if it's free, which you're right, there's always more attachment expense. So I think it's critical that we figure out organizationally what we're doing. And then, as Ralph says,
building.
yeah, that's just bricks and mortar, but what goes into it, how it's gonna operate. Key. figure that out. That's right, that's the ultimate. The operational costs. You get grant money, you can find money. But what's your operating cost? With the total organization. But moving forward, if there's a savings to be had by a single organization, Australian Highway, single budget comes to the town. Now, right, legally, is that going to be a financial benefit to the taxpayer?
Where we've looked at it a lot over the years and really didn't seem to get it.
We're not gonna save $100,000 a year. You're gonna need $100,000 a year higher.
Right. I kind of disagree with that. The savings is not as much operational as capital. Which is saying, you know, he said it that night, saying in his report, those large capital expenditures change. Seeing that across the country, we have one department for education. That's why I'm fearful.
But how so? Less apparatus.
Yeah.
He was actually,
Yeah.
yeah, he was actually, you know, so would you be happy with that? Less apparatus in town?
With what we have currently,
Well, the question would be then, it would be incumbent upon you guys as the head of your organization to justify what you do, how you replace it, why you need to keep pumping money in. Well, that's really what we're telling. You know, a fire truck that goes to, you know, 5 calls a year and 5 mutual aid calls, it's nothing to justify.
I live in a situation right now, why, being a service training. Using older truck. Or engine died, I don't have, if I don't have an older truck,
Damn.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a.
You're not adding the other parts. You're a mix. You got
but if I could also just add one thing. Even if we were told by the board of selectmen, you have to consolidate. 2 years. There's no way. And that's my take, of seeing other departments. Once they started, I, on a safe side, I think it's 2 years.
Well, a lot of it, a lot of it depends how it is.
Right. How would
Is that very depth?
Is it having a protest? Is it, is it giving a password?
I agree with that.
that's why I think
Are you gonna have cost savings by having being having less knowledge?
Well, and that's the that is the
Are you the
delicate-
volunteer consolidation being?
and nobody thinks
I don't know.
I guess it's
probably last time we sat here talking about consolidation and had members come in, we had members lined up on the door say, if you consolidate it, we're leaving.
that's where I think the point you just made is critical, that it happened carefully and planned transition. And as Ralph said, if we can use that money from wherever that is, Congressman's office, to get Station 13 to house Alex's equipment, then we can buy some time here to figure this all out. Especially if we can find out, I don't know if anyone knows this, James Marshall's on, where are we in the CIP schedule? If the town approves the new school and us, like where do we fall? You know, that's kind of important for us to know, Andy. And I'm getting the CIP plan, but I didn't bring that. Now we have a budget freeze. Right. But that's important to know. If we're following the new school, then that building of yours down there becomes pretty critical. Right? Again, just we're spitballing a bunch of things. My thoughts on the table, right, wrong, each of you. convinced otherwise. We could have a single department with two stations. We could make station 13 primary for ambulance. And the whole department is primary when it comes to fire and rescue. They wait up.
That's what confuses me, Ralph. Because the ambulance guys are always there, so they're the fire guys during the day. So if we went to a single department, is that still true? Pretty much, and we're just in one building instead of two, Tyler, or?
Yeah. The paid staff that are there, the two people that make up the department. They're most in town during the day, but they're there 24/7, 22 people, but they are paid firefighters. So they're responding to auto accidents, medical calls, fires, utility fires, whole nine yards. So they're clustering into all facets of emergency service.
I guess what I'm asking is, if we separated ambulance from fire, then we lose that capability, that.
If you wanna start a separate ambulance company, yeah.
I would not recommend.
Yeah, which
Goes against all the national, regional, national trends also for ambulance service, private ambulance service being sucked up by municipalities, fire departments throughout the country. It's just kind of productive.
Did you say anything, or is this all our problem to figure out?
I
I don't remember.
don't know if we touched on that or not.
Yeah, I
but
don't remember.
It's all integrated.
That was my one, that was a great evening, but my one disappointment was, it says everybody's doing this, but I bet it's hard for everybody to do this, right? And how are they
So,
doing it?
some places it's expensive. And some places it's happening. Look at the national trends of volunteering. We see it all the time. You get volunteers that wanna join and don't go. Well, they actually realize when they fail. And nobody's coming out. Not going. It's the same thing. Unfortunately, definitely. One of the people that I,
Even between two departments.
yeah,
We don't have,
it's gonna get worse.
and the other side of it, in the town, we don't have the money.
We don't have money.
We don't have the money to pay the people that
We're talking about, north of our third
the
resident.
volunteers,
million for budget.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's so.
no, and it's not in charge either. Well, that's the organization. If we should get back to.
Road.
It,
Do where are we have, I don't.
like that's what's happening.
So we do price is six. Something. You're not gonna. What was the reason for the EPA? Make sure we're not like, you're not increasing the footprint of the building. It was something with. What, spotted frog?
Well, that's what they do.
We went, again, we went through that when we built the tower. So, hoping it's gonna get. When you say use their architects, they used to do an architecture with maybe. Okay. Alright, so none of these things are like one small.
Does like 40 coordinate that?
That was the questions that we sent to them. How much was the grant for?
And Alex, what are we getting? A new roof, skin,
A new roof, new siding. So what we did wanna do is. Still true that we have some. Back. We have. We're going to have. Okay. So there are things that we're doing to get it under that five. Didn't find out, it's up. We have to, they reimburse. So anything we do, they will reimburse up to that 5.5, if I recall, so they know what's going on.
You got spent for it.
What kind of like record keeping requirements is that?
Well, it's probably nothing that the town bookkeeping office has handled.
Be careful.
But does the whole project then fall in that 545? Meaning it will
No.
make me covered, I don't know.
Well, the drainage work we're trying to take on.
Right.
Because it involves a much higher review. Yeah, you take that small sample, like 4 samples, soil. Trying to limit.
You may want to put them in that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, after that, they go to short samples. Either way, I'm thinking that's.
Yes.
That's true.
My hope would be is if you guys will add an agenda for the public works drainage part, so that we can. I need So back up 1 second. I think Tom, I'll get your question, same question. This is a, so the 500 double covered work open for be feds. Every single thing we want to do in that scope of work, they cover it, said yes, pretty much. Whether it's a countertop, a cabinet, a whatever it is, yes, they'll get covered. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. They will. We won't know that. Wait, come back. No matter which way you go. Has this been handed off to them yet? It has been. But whether it's going to their architecture, we don't know. After this is the first. Or does it have to be a bid? Not pretty much. Yeah.
Then we can't put in.
Well, they're will be part of the bid. But is there a requirement of the grid? With the USDA's. It's really good. So, all right, what we're trying to do. Like, we get the drainage work done. Sealed. Then once. So what you probably should find out too, the disbursement from. Expense. I'd like to think they're not gonna make you us wait. And actually put up 500 grand before we get it back. My experience is that they're going quarterly, monthly, verification. So if we get a bill. Section.
Yeah.
They give you a bill, you pay it, they reimburse. It'll have to be worked out. Because they would be here, USDA comes in, does site visit. I'm sure.
Okay, so if I have this right. Sure it's clear.
It's not clear in mine, so good luck.
Well, it be, screw this, both of us. It behooves us to get the drainage stuff. Public works.
How do you do that without? Board, it sounds like more finalized documents, are there like additional project documents, like how do you do that?
So the drainage work is the outside.
Outside.
There will be downside opening, that's not gonna be a concern to you.
And there's no planned anything exterior besides like the shell of the building and. Inside.
Connection. Downspouts, maybe an area drain, catch basin.
Yeah, we catch me. Sounds like if you live with expense, it's great outside, so,
Well, that should,
We were saying $30,000.
what I'm saying is that can come out of the CIP reserves. That, this committee goes. You know, if we were gonna bring it down to bare slab. Without touching the grant. That's your hope.
But you don't want to do that to your committee.
Oh, absolutely. We need the town to commit to it.
Steel structure. So procedurally, Andy, how do you approach the board audit procedure? To let them know what the process is and how you get the green light to.
Yes, I'm, well,
Also, I don't want to wait. You guys prior to be able. So that once we go to USDA, they say, this is what we're going to do. Ready for it.
all right, well, let's put it on the agenda. Since we're talking about it. But shall we get through the other things on new business first? And then we will add it on afterwards, because, we're all gray eye stuff on. I have a document I can share. That speaks to exactly. All right, so we, still an item, review the. I don't think we really got it. I'm still not in agreement that we need to understand the organization of the department prior to talking about it. And, just because I'm just thinking as a taxpayer, I'm thinking of trying to sell this to the taxpayers. We got a grant, we rebuilt Station 13, and then we talk and say, we want a couple of $1 million for a new firehouse, they're gonna go, you just rebuilt it, what are you talking? And then if we got a grant for the Willington Hill Fire Department, so that was free, not free money, it's our money, it just came from a different funder. And then we say, well, we wanna do another one, they're gonna go, no. So those points become moot. However, to use, what CERCOG did, that was pretty good stuff they did. It didn't cost us anything, other than our membership in CERCOG. To do that again, the different courses of action that we just paid for, I think speaks well to what this committee does, and it also speaks well to the other departments in town that they have something. And then when we say, hey, we decided a single station is the right one, and if you build Station 13 and get a grant, they're gonna go, what are you guys doing? Makes sense. I'm not saying two stations is the right answer, but that's substance. We've learned, have these things in our hands to look at, if you can speak to other people, it helps conversation, regardless of what. You've got something tangible in a plan. So,
Progress.
what's that? It shows progress. It shows. We started that. We did that. Now we're at that. And we did. But again, to just look at the pitch courses of action, develop some structure around that, and say, okay, send it off to those people you do the CERCOG and say, here are the different courses of action, give us some rough plans and prices. Now we have something to talk about. So if we spend $50,000 on $200,000 grant or $200,000 allocation, I think that what happened is that committee would recommend we'd have to go back to the townspeople. Just like anything else, do the townspeople agree to use this, to use the money that was allocated for. Since that time, we found other CERCOG that can help us with that cost, so we'd like to now use that money to do some construction in the form of drainage or whatever.
Who could be against that?
Who could be against that, especially since money's already been allocated? I think the townspeople would know.
Maybe it shouldn't be so quick then.
Well, that's right.
We all so good man.
I think that's good fiscal management. Say, hey, we found other ways of system.
Stop being involved.
Because the stations are big, that's got its own legs. We don't think. It's happening, that's happening in its own trajectory. Outside of what this committee's part of, it's already going. A train has left the station and it's moving down the track. That's good.
Timeline out, that whole time, tomorrow.
For the bridge.
No, for the reconstruction. Be great to get.
So
I would,
yeah, that's something, but that's what he's having.
It is critical that we find that tool.
And I think they're limiting the town meeting because it's already voted on to apply that $200,000 to X. It has to go to the board of finance, I think the recommendation. That's all we have.
We report the boards. So our recommendation.
happy to be a part.
Actually, I think in this particular time, I think that's a very fiscally responsible. Say we found other sources.
Outside of it.
Coach Ray has no complete information.
That's what's going on.
When the mold started.
I'm saying, where did you start?
All right, so
Do you have anything preventing us from starting that?
Yes.
Money.
Pay for it.
Kind of what we pay for.
Because we have this.
we don't know yet.
What is our cost if town's doing the work during?
We're gonna get to that. We gotta put it on the agenda. We gotta.
We're still on reviewing public forum and discussion. So,
We're kind of in all this.
it's all, that's what's got track. So anyway, is there anything, I'd like to, at our next meeting, I'd like to sort of illustrate what I'm talking about with the different courses of action and what I have in mind. Try to vote on it. Let's move on to part two, or letter B. Update on grant application regarding the Wellington Hill, Mike's not here to talk about it.
You didn't really send us anything.
He didn't send us anything on that.
I talked to everybody and that turned in.
Yes, the next vote is August or something.
Yeah.
We had all. The bill came in at $780.
Yeah, they got updated, everything went back to pay it in. $785. Did it on the budget. We gotta save money for the town already.
Okay, item C, final payment for Fitch. Do we feel that Fitch has fulfilled their obligation? The final payment is due for Fitch.
I would make a motion that we back.
Great, any discussion? Yep, you clear the money? Any other discussion? All in favor of final payment to Fitch? All right, I'd like to, I make a motion to add to the agenda, talk about, drainage project at Station 13. There's second, will be item G. Second, okay, any, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, it's unanimous, we are adding on discussion for drainage at Station 13. I'm holding in my hand, packet that Mike sent today. He has, probably for the Station 13 drainage project, I believe it's public works. as I said, they've got catch basin parts, piping materials, aggregate material, and estimated project total of $22,800,069. I don't know why you
Can you hear me?
can't hear me. Who's that? Anyway, that's the $22,069.26. That would be for the, this will go into, that'll be, so. Nobody raised their hand or impressed to speak. So that's it, 22,069 for drainage. So as I said, I would see that if we go through the process of asking for this one type of allocation, that's the ample funds there to cover it. And it would not affect that that's not.
Can you hear me? Well, but first, let's find out when Troy actually. Troy can't start doing it in July, then we have a little bit of time. Just because, and I said this before, Peter, I'm concerned that with all of the fire department, firehouse, school, it all falls on the same budget. They eventually reach sort of a capacity. I don't want to throw. I mean, I'm just mindful. Start throwing everything's fire, everything. If we can make sure that we're not always on that, right? We all right.
So we also know they love that.
They love it.
Have at it.
How can you not? Like you said, right, we need to get it done right away. I'm not suggesting I'm not suggesting the so make a motion that I'll make a motion that the committee recommends to the Board of Select that through the process of Board of Finance and town meeting, reallocate some of the money earmarked for engineering and planning go to actual construction due to the fact that we found new ways of getting our engineering services. Fair motion.
Kudos to the chair.
With that money.
Yes. Much to my chagrin, that's why we stopped.
Until we went to try to use.
That's why we went.
I'm just trying, I'm just thinking, you just said, it's gonna take. I'm just thinking that, by the time you go back.
That's why I'm saying back, we need a special meeting, to get these guys,
Yeah,
do that quick.
Town meeting.
He does it, yeah.
You have to go have.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah. Meeting. Thank you, but, well. Just think, just try to think outside the box, if there's any other way, maybe really so.
Oh, I know, yeah, I didn't get it.
Second for discussion. Because one of the things I want to bring up is, we have a referendum next Tuesday. We will most likely have a special board of selectmen following day.
potentially another town meeting.
Very possible, yes, yeah.
But that's all right.
It hasn't been, yeah, good thought, good thought. It hasn't been done.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, I'm on.
Or answer, we just say, yeah, we can hear you, just wait.
Anyway, point being,
Unmute, why is it just?
I don't know, look at my blind thought here, the town
Can you
budget,
hear me?
BK reduction to the government budget hasn't been resolved yet.
Right.
So, and a lot of this, the fund transfers are under the government budget. So I don't know if or where some of the funding is gonna come from to tweak our budget.
Right. They're kind of going to this settles on that fund.
When we first started this, and Peter said we had $200,000, we went to the Board of Finance, said we all in good faith believed we had that money. And I went to the Board of Finance and asked for the money, they said, well, you can't use that for construction, that's directly for planning and engineering. And it was like, well, crap, we just spent almost 6 months doing this and nobody told us that. So that's when we started all over again and just started planning again, so and then I was specifically told that the only way to get that money moved is to go to a town meeting because it was voted on by the town, so.
Yeah, I think that meeting with you, there was a lot of concern at the Board of Finance that we hire the expert, which we did.
Right.
You know, they were concerned if we didn't do that,
But they clearly said that. You're
they
right.
pretty much said that, but we did that.
We did that.
So they should be like understanding that we're moving along.
That's right, yeah, I don't think it'll be as much of a
No,
problem.
I don't either, because we have the report, we have a good action plan from the report.
Yeah,
And
and
this is a great move.
we have found new ways of finding engineering services that have proven to be successful based on Alex's and Mike's work to check out, so. Whoever that was, but I think, or at least that's the argument I'm making. So anyway,
Is there a material lead time for Troy stuff that he said?
For materials?
Shouldn't be.
the material wasn't that bad.
All readily available?
Yeah.
Catch basin parts are $5,000, piping materials, $9,000.
Not quite, I'm
Aggregate
worried about
stuff.
like, do we have to order it now? It's like,
No.
No, it's all readily available.
The chop stuff.
Yeah, like actually Troy asked them when it could comfortably fit into his, to-do list.
So, Tom, I hear you, and maybe there are other ways of seeking the money. And maybe there's a way to get it, but, nevertheless, does the committee have a problem with that motion that we send a request to the Board of Selectmen to start the process using that allocation? If there's another way to get it.
That's our only choice at this point, so.
Yeah,
Can I just ask that you put it as drainage and waterproofing of the foundation?
I think if the allocation of the funding changes.
Why would you want to waterproof the foundation?
That's what we got from Millennial Builders. Was to power wash it and seal it.
I can see the top surface, yes, and as far as the water, you're talking about the top surface or the side?
The sides.
But they're just knee walls.
That's all they
they're
are,
not face walls.
That's what I thought, but that's what we got.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, I don't think it's very expensive.
It's not.
They're gonna be digging and they're
Is
gonna
that included?
Sounds good.
close.
Yeah, but we're deciding to do it while the ground is open.
well, no, I mean, you're gonna bring it to the Board of Selectmen, and two of us in there, so I don't think that's a problem to talk about.
But as far as the
what-
funds, as far as the 200 that we were allocating for engineering and planning, we should try and change that to up to the discretion of this committee. Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
The recommendations of this committee, the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance.
Right, so they're gonna
Yeah.
keep going through all this process if we change direction somewhere.
this motion for me is fairly broad. We're gonna recommend to the Board of Selectmen to allocate funding. Board of Selectmen can talk about how much that funding is. And then we can make that recommendation to the Board of Finance, understanding that there's a machine that has to be followed.
What do we have left, Andy?
And the Board of Finance may come up with another avenue, $22,000 could come from the general fund.
It's been 2 weeks.
Well, that's right, yeah, exactly. And then do I know all that? No. I mean, right now, there's a freeze, so nothing's gonna happen. We got an email today, all departments, you guys got a freeze, everybody's got a freeze. So, well, we started off with 200 and then we paid 40,000 for a,
Funny.
for the study, and then we had to pay Eileen, so we got like $8 left.
Yeah, cause they're real expensive.
You do it for that?
Yeah.
Coffee.
I mean, that's a good point though, because it's the same consideration of like, okay, if you're gonna get a local contractor to try and do some demolition. I would be reasonable to ask, like, okay, can we bring that debris to the town transfer station, but that's a cost to the town, right? Then would that also have to be approved like a special town meeting for every single charge like that?
Good question.
Like, or like, okay, if the town provides the dumpster service, then like the labor would be, hypothetically. Like, would we have to do a special
If I
town
was
meeting
a
for
select-
every single aspect?
If I was a selectman, I'd probably ask for, say, let's say, I'm looking at a bill of 22,000, I'd probably ask for 50. If I was a select. To be moved out of the 200,000.
Do you,
Well,
for like
that's gotta-
pre-construction planning, pre-construction, like prep, like site prep or something?
Yeah.
That way you can encompass and not have to like.
Yes,
We don't wanna
meeting, special
jeopardize
meeting,
the
special
grant
meeting.
application. With us doing some things that they may feel should be part of the
Right, well, you did
grant.
mention that, I'm not just bringing that up
Yeah,
again.
no, we
You
had
mentioned
already
it.
told at one point, like the drainage was coming out.
Right,
But Brendan's got a good point, though, if, we're gonna there's a lot of steel there that can be recycled, which benefits the town of Wellington, from a recycling perspective.
Yeah,
We need more than fillers.
but it's also all good money, yeah.
What does that have to do with the question about allocation of funding?
just to try and make, is there, like you were saying, is there a way to like. If you're asking at a special meeting, can you ask in that special meeting to reword the charge of that funding, or?
I
If you're
think
gonna
it would-
ask for just that, can you ask for more to be slightly more encompassing?
Well, no, I think we should ask for, you know, whatever, maybe we ask for, I don't know, 50, 80, 100, I don't know. Probably talk about that with the board of selectmen, but what would make most sense, in order to have you know, enough money to move this forward. So let's say 609 was the number, right? So,
Yeah.
well, let's make it 650, and then we get 585.
25.
525, so the difference is 125, so that's 125,000. That's the delta between what we might have to spend in order to get what we want. So we ask for that money that's already been allocated for a fire, some sort of facilities building.
I think I like what Ralph's saying, what we're trying to get at is the 200,000 or what's left of it, the $8.
Yeah,
Can we get the town meeting to allow with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance position, spend that however we see fit?
Definitely.
well,
All of it, not just the 25 or
Yeah.
50.
I think it's sort of like just what we say, we're gonna allocate, I don't know, $500,000 to buy a new fire truck. We don't tell you what kind of fire truck to buy. You give us the basic, and when we vote, we say the town, that the fire department's gonna buy a new piece of equipment, this type of, I'm making things up, but it's America La France, it's this 2,000 gallon pumper. We don't dictate, you told us the price. And you had that outfitted for that price. We don't say, well, I don't like the size of that pump. We don't get into that detail. The town does it. So we'd be saying, we want to.
I don't know, I've been in meetings where they have.
Yeah.
All right, but the town meeting isn't like that. The town meeting, when you're voting on the budget item, you know, you buy a street sweeper, you buy an excavator.
I've seen whole dump trucks approved by 3 people at a town meeting.
Exactly.
It's insane.
So when we're asking for this, it's gonna be, you know, it would, or at least if I think the question would go something like, we are going to, for pre-construction preparation to include this drainage plan, waterproofing, debris removal, piping, you know, and it's, we need this much money. And again,
Site prep.
site preparation, it's fairly broad. And the towns can say, yeah, we think that's a great use of that money. Because you guys found another avenue to do your engineering.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
it
it'd
would
be,
be
it'd be easier to pass that at a town meeting, I think, than, well, no, never mind, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, no, I mean, not sadly, this is the process. This is,
No, yes, it's coming.
this is how you gotta do it. I mean, it's our money. We paid into that for years. And, you know, and everybody's a stakeholder and they have a right to talk about it. And that's the process to get the money.
We have a majority on the board of selectmen sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And I think the board of finance will be very favorable now that we had the pitch study done and a great public presentation.
Yes,
There'll be a high comfort level here.
and certainly that we're not asking for more money, we're asking to repurpose the money that's been allocated.
We use our money very efficiently. Very good.
Exactly, we did, we haven't wasted that money, and
That's,
it's earned interest in.
Do you remember where that funded or what account that funds out of?
I have no idea.
That's why I'm questioning what the balance is in that account, Peter.
I'm just worried that it's gonna get, depending on what account it is, we're not gonna be able to touch that till August.
Well, I think it's gonna depend on our next Board of Selectmen's meeting to address the budget.
If it passes, it'll be one conversation, if it doesn't, it'll be a very different
wait a
conversation.
minute, no. Because the town budget.
The town budget is passed.
Oh, that's right, all right, that's right. So
We had CIP passed.
But we're on a freeze, and
We have not decided where that 70K is coming from.
Oh,
Okay, yes, the town budget passed with the premise that we're gonna reduce the increase.
and you guys haven't done anything else, done?
We haven't done anything with that because we're kind of sort of waiting to see what happens to the ed budget.
But there's still no mill rate set, so they haven't sent tax bills out either.
Right.
No, but either way, after Tuesday, a tax bill's going out.
Right.
And then there'll be supplemental after that.
we have a
Which
meeting,
is
we
why we have a July 1 special meeting.
have a special meeting on Wednesday.
Well, we're on the agenda.
Anyway. Motion was made and seconded to, write a letter or advise the Board of Selectmen to reallocate funding for pre-construction prep, to include drainage and others. Any other discussion?
Convention Center.
And second, I already said prep.
Okay, good.
No words.
Good.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed, abstentions? It's unanimous. Okay.
Dave, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, but he's not good.
Come on. That's no fun. The conversation. Say whatever you
The
want.
wheels are turning.
Well, we gotta do something. We gotta follow a process, so. That's just the way it is. Okay,
Well, there's some things we've basically been through on cover all business.
right.
On say something.
No, I got two front sheets going on. Okay, update on CERCOG. I think we covered that. This is old business. I'm sorry, we finished, new business, old business. Update on CERCOG, priority list. We talked about that. Station 13 we touched on. I think old business is still, most of that is ongoing. We're not quite there yet. Okay, any correspondence other than we did get, Mike did forward this stuff from QA&M. This is for it stands for Quisenberry, Kari and Malik LLC. They're in Farmington. They are a design firm, they're architects. And
They did the preliminary plans for the
that's right. And now this is part of discussion, QA&M will provide design services to update the plans, elevations and estimates to the design documents developed in 23. This was dated May 12th. Have they met with anybody? It says they're gonna meet with people.
well done.
It's all done. 785. So that was part of the grant. So that was correspondence. The drainage projects, which will be, I did part of these minutes. I don't know if that QA&M needs to be part of the minutes, but we're gonna enter in the drainage project. So because that, we talked about it. That was all for correspondence. And that brings us to. Oh, there we are.
Skipped over on a couple lines.
What did I skip over?
The DE and F
D&M.
on the backside.
Oh, D&M. Owner's project manager, costing grant assistant logistics for the above.
I think once that grant money gets finalized and we can complete whatever site work,
Yes,
drainage, et cetera, on our own before.
yes,
At the point that it looks like we're gonna hopefully get a green light on the grant, Well, maybe we do need to, and it's the opium.
We probably do. How much, anybody, the school building
No
committee, any thoughts on most of those costs?
Big bucks. For the school, yes, not so much for this kind of project.
Does a clerk in our works for this round for the grant require a full blown OPM?
I think an OPM.
For some reason, I thought USDA was gonna be the OPM because.
That's perfect.
And I could be completely wrong, but nothing can be done without them all signing off. For funding purposes.
And when you have contractors that are gonna come in,
Right.
that you have to get bids from, they have.
Well, are they just oversight, Alex, or do they really like manage the project?
I don't know if they've actually managed the project, but she's pretty damn well.
Usually the
Hey,
contractors have a
you
project.
can't do anything. She was very clear of, if you want a reimbursement,
You can't believe they're gonna be coordinating contractors.
I don't think they'll coordinate with it.
We'll bring that up to the first selectman
I
and see
think.
what his, we'll see what his take on that is, because of USDA's close, consultation and then oversight. Maybe,
They made very clear of, like, nothing could be ordered, purchased, if you're looking for it to be reimbursed. All of that has to be approved and signed off
yeah.
before any of that. happens.
Okay, good. This is another, as Peter had mentioned, after the fiasco with the town hall window, the old town hall window.
Somebody's gotta watch it.
Having a clerk of the works on the project daily, just making sure that the contractor's doing what they committed to do outside of USDA approving
We heard you had a
whatever.
lot of time on your hands.
What's that?
What? So we heard you had a lot of time on your hands.
I hadn't before, I did it for the windows.
Well, there might be, is there a way, would be, just, is there a way that maybe we could own some of that internally? Because we have the USDA so close, that maybe just making sure that somebody would be on site to make sure they're doing what they said.
Like,
I did it for the library.
Oh, did you?
wow.
Yeah, I was the clerk of the work. So I watched the job.
Excellent. Not asking you to do it again, but.
It's still standing.
There you go. At least something-
Fantastic, Dave. It's still standing, fantastic.
Is that something a guy like me could do?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think you got an architect and you got the construction guys, they manage it. They should be doing their job. That's why you hire an architect.
I know a guy that can help me read.
If you just got a contractor there, I understand that.
I know people. All right. Maybe that's something we could do internally and save the town some money.
Well, that's
We need
fine,
to say
but
hire this separate.
my only point
I
is-
see money.
I do not want
Right,
to
but
see.
you're already hiring a GC and you have USDA,
Yeah,
who seems very managed,
to put a
mentally.
project manager on top of that,
Yeah, that I don't.
it's gonna be expensive.
Really.
I think maybe just somebody from the town, keep it an eye on it. Make sure they're doing, just hanging around.
Yep.
Water cooler.
The only thing I'm gonna bring up here is trenches get covered over without a drainage pipe before anybody sees it.
That's true. But not if somebody's there watching.
Specifically Station 13, when that was built in 1980. There are pipes missing in the ground there that should have been there.
But that typically doesn't happen anymore. I mean, if you cover up pipes now before a building inspector comes out or something.
Right.
Digging it back up, yeah,
You're digging it back up.
But it's good to have a second pair of
It
eyes
is.
representing the taxpayers' interest.
We'll float whether or not that can be done internally. And
Well, I would go down there and watch it, so.
Well, I'd be.
I go with you.
too, so.
I'll be sitting there with you. All right.
After this mold thing, absolutely.
Okay. So that's good. So.
And I have a lot more time than I did when I did it before.
We have some talk, good, that's great.
Right there.
I'd like to be part of that too. Okay, item E, reminder, we need to fill BO Board of Finance rep on this committee. And, we also need to fill a Wellington Hill Fire Department rep because of Mike's departure, because he's no longer a member, he's ex officio.
But didn't we didn't switch James to November? He was
No,
on.
never happened.
Officially.
Not officially.
It could happen, right?
Well, that's
Because I missed a couple of meetings, I didn't know if it took place, because
That's an appointment.
he was an auxiliary, but he's been sitting in.
Well, all right then. I
But
mean,
it would still be I think a Board of Selectmen appointment anyway.
maybe we could get that on the agenda.
Add that to the Board of Selectmen meeting.
at the next Board of Selectmen. I circled it. And Board of Finance will have to ask them, so I will reach out to them. I don't know if they really want to do anything. Okay,
Nobody on that board expressed an interest in
then we don't have.
Giving-
We can't force.
volunteering.
Sounds like they're pretty busy right now anyway.
We're not glad ours.
Sounds like they're pretty busy right now.
Board of Finance.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
debatable.
Okay, correspondence. Talked about that already. Present to speak. Is there anybody present to speak? Is there anyone online? I don't see anyone online anymore.
I think they left.
Yeah, we couldn't hear him.
Well, then, okay. That's it. Next meeting would be the 9th of July, 2026,
If not similar.
if not sooner. Adjournment.
We'll move.
All in favor? Thank you. Well, that was fun. I'm recording.
Sorry.
Yeah, recording.